Welcome back. As we promised earlier, we are going to speak about the investment environment or atmosphere here in Egypt and the SMEs, the startups, the new entrepreneurs, the very promising opportunity we do have here in many fields, and the state's will to encourage all those who want to start their own businesses, the SMEs and their importance in developing our economy. And to shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Engineer Mostafa Waly, our economic expert. A very good morning to you, sir.
Very good morning to you too.
First, sir, let's talk in general, or let's speak with the very first traditional question regarding the SMEs, or the importance of micro and macro businesses and their positive and pivotal role in developing our economy.
Well, now you see over the years now that the small and medium enterprises constitute a very important position in the economic culture of the general public, and especially the industrialists and the Egyptian people at large. That's very important because actually over the years it proved that the small and medium enterprises, the development of the small and medium enterprises was a very important step and very clean and clear step in building a new economies and even the developed economies, starting from the first developed countries or the highly developed countries, I mean the first world, and down to the third world. I don't like this nomination or
these classifications. It's not valid anymore.
Yeah, I see. There is emerging economies. There are successful economies. There is prosperous economy. And we are passing by tough time, by the way, the whole world. That's another story. I agree with you when it comes to the small and medium enterprises.
Sir,
it's important.
Today, inshallah, our Heritage or Turathana exhibition is going to be inaugurated. And it's one of the proofs to what extent the state is keen to encourage the small businesses and to let them know well that they do have full support from the government to make them not only succeed in the local market, but inshallah to continue on the right path to export their products too. How do you see these steps and such events?
First of all, it's a very unique part and very unique and very impressive part of our cultural heritage. And even when it comes to the artifacts and the artisans, this shows that celebrating and encouraging such sector, especially this heritage, and what's called Turath now. We say it in very proud word, Turath now, this is our heritage. Encouraging those who are keen to show how genuine and how impressive and how valuable is this heritage when it comes to its products and the people who are behind them, the genius in bringing new items to this heritage over the time and over the years. And if you consider what is going to happen, I read some about what's going to happen, inshallah, today. You see the importance is even given high boost by the presence of the president himself. I heard that the president himself will inaugurate it. And this is a great thing, because it shows the importance and the keenness of the leadership of this country to boost all sorts of economic rises and economic boosting, economic encouragement. That's very interesting. Over 1,000 exhibitors was there.
More than 1,000 this year. This was my coming question, sir, regarding the increasing number of exhibitors And the
Yes,
president was keen himself, as you've kindly mentioned, to meet with
yes,
many of them in the last editions of the exhibition or the event to
yeah,
make them feel secure, let's say that, and making sure that they do have the full support of the state.
yeah.
How do you see this direct connection between the head of a state or the president with the exhibitors or with the new entrepreneurs, let's call them or let's
Yes,
name them this way?
yes, yes.
Look,
Well, sorry.
uh,
Okay.
can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you very well. By the way, your terminology for calling them entrepreneur, they are entrepreneur and artists, artisans, you know, and that's add to them because then there is the creativity effect, the creativity prescription or description which add more to their products and invite more of their you know customers and supporters. And I myself and a lot of friends were keen always. We were very keen to attend all these last 3 or 4. I think there are 3 before I attended while they started small, but now they are getting bigger. And even the exhibition will be in the largest and the most fascinating exhibition center in Cairo, in Egypt. Yeah,
Yes.
that's very very interesting. You know, very
Amen to
interesting.
that. Sir, also,
Yeah,
the exhibitors are coming from all over the country. I mean, you would find exhibitors coming from Aswan, from Siwa, from the Delta governorates. It's not centralized exhibition, just marking the big cities and that's it. You would find artists, as you've kindly mentioned, or businessmen or businesswomen, of course, as
yeah,
they were sure that they are going to find their opportunity. How do you
yeah.
see the awareness of our young entrepreneurs or those startups that now they do have a place, they do have a share, they do have an opportunity, and it's not only in the big cities, but you can have your chance if you really have the will.
First of all, the culture. I mean, and because it is the heritage, then it means that it entails every cultural, regional culture, or you know, governorate culture, or even some you know, it's Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt. I mean, Upper Egypt and Said, and you look also to the west and east of Egypt. You know, so the whole Egypt is there with its culture, with its heritage. And it's fascinating because if you look at some of these heritage, well, parts of this art heritage related to this heritage, you will find it going back to thousands of years. You know, for the Egyptian, you know, look at we have artifacts after the original, you know, original civilization of the Egyptian civilization. You find some going to centuries and some who are kept even. These were artifacts. And you know, the duplication and work more and more in this shows you that it is real deep in cultural, you know. So that's something which makes us, should make us proud of ourselves as of
Amen to
our
that.
nation.
Engineer Waly,
And
let's also talk about investment in general, and let's talk, if you permit me, about the state's efforts to make it easier for those who want to start their own businesses with the industrial zones, with the call to think out of the box. Just show us that you are a creative person and you have made your visibility studies or your homework, and you are going to receive our full support, incentives, no more bureaucracy. You can have your license in just a few weeks or maybe less than that. How do you see such efforts or the investment environment or the investment atmosphere here in Egypt, particularly in the field of industry?
very, very, very nice and very good for me to mention this, because this is the essence of sustainability which we are looking for as a nation. In this sector, I am very pleased actually to know that there will be a certain section in this exhibition for the agency which is taking care of small and medium enterprises development, where everything will be there, from how to get to your project, how the government will help you, even when it comes to marketing, even if it comes to overseas marketing, I mean international marketing. That's great. I'm very, very pleased because there are very professional people who are dealing with this in this agency. I'm familiar with it, and I wish them the best of success. Back again to your story. When it comes to investment in this sector, there is even, let's say, not in the same scale as an artifact and artisans or heritage, but real industry. Real industry, you find the tremendous work and the excellent work which have been fulfilled over the few years, which is now a reality on the ground. In each governorate, you will find fantastic development areas for industry, assigned for industry. It comes from even north of Egypt to south of Egypt. In all these places, you will find everything. It is plug and play. It's not plug and start, I say, actually. They are given, very different and very diversified areas, small areas, bigger areas for the project, which actually have been approved, and with fantastic, I should say, everything is there, because if you have there the road to your place where you work, if you have the constituency and the needed utilities from electricity to water and all this, the essential for having an industry or workplace, it is there. And
Yes.
it's actually important. That's the most important. Then comes later, of course, and it's in the process, how to help this financially and marketing-wise and all.
And to think with them, even with the ideas. I mean, to let them know what are the promising fields, so
Exactly.
they can open new horizons. And even if I do have a project with only 2 partners, this is going to be something, and they are going to achieve a more success and to develop their small company to be a bigger one to reach the maximum. But sir, if you permit me to speak about, I'm not going to say localizations, but to say the industries which are suitable to each province here in Egypt. Now we do think on scientific basis. For example, if you are in a city by the seaside, packaging of food industries or seafood, for example, and some agricultural production, it's according to also the environment, the geographical nature of the place. How do you see thinking this way? How do you see having this scientific way of thinking to make sure that we guarantee that this small project is going to succeed, and we are going to help all those who want to start to have their own steps on the right path?
Very, very nice and very clever. You pointed out a very important issue, which is the geographical effect. Always the geography has its role when it comes to the activity of a human being at large. And over the years and over the progress, and then there was specialization in general for certain areas to be known with.
Yes.
For example, if you go to the seaside or the sea city, you will find there those who are very familiar with, marines and the business of marines and everything related to it, fishing and. If you go to a little bit internal, then you will find that these people are looking for the requirement. The manufacturing there or the industry there will be to fulfill the requirement needed for such closed area. But in general now, with the development and having this fantastic road net across the country, then actually you can have somebody who can doing some business which has nothing to do with geography, because he will have it accordingly to what the raw material he has. That's important. But the product itself is different story, because it will be supplied, it will be given to other areas. So in general, still the geography will have its effect and its role, but actually we should have first those who are keen to start up and be entrepreneurs, and we should help them and assist them to the maximum.
Yes. Sir, also unemployment. Unemployment is, I would call it a nightmare when it comes to investment, economy. Well, when we do have youth who do not have the opportunities of work or job opportunities, they would unfortunately turn to negative things. I'm not going to mention them. And there are many repercussions of unemployment. With the investment atmosphere we do have right now, it's one of our weapons to fight unemployment, if you agree with me on that.
Absolutely. And above all, is how to increase our position in the GDP, which is the gross domestic product, which is production actually, which is actually the activity of the whole nation, working nation. So in this case, anything would help in this issue, in this big achievement, big objective. We should support it, regardless of its size, because altogether the bits and pieces will contribute to increase what you need. So in this case, if we are talking about SMEs, it is one of its very important characteristics that it helps employment. I mean, it abates unemployment because it can attract too many youth in certain areas. So this area, if you have a lot of small and medium enterprises, then immediately you will reduce the unemployment among youth. That's very important. So
it's going to be a win-win situation for all.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, Engineer Mostafa Waly, our economic expert, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Well, right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned only on Nile TV International.